Okay, can we go to the right now? This person here, Eduardo?
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Good. Yeah, I just want to say I've been successfully brainwashed by your movie. Thank you very much indeed. Job done. I wanted to say I think the film's amazing at dissecting the evils inherent in our money system, which are palpable and there for everyone to see. I also think it's a great advert for your resource-based economy. It looks a bit like utopia porn to me. It's in some instances.
Excuse me. Can you ask the question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks.
What I'm basically saying is I think the film's weak in terms of describing the transition from the place we're in now to the place that you're advertising. And that's the real problem that I have with it. I can't wait to be in that world, but how do we get there?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. That's why we're here, and that's why there's an event tomorrow. That's why the Zeitgeist movement exists. You know, there's only so much I as an individual and my conditioning, my temperament, and my intellectual capacity can say. I couldn't sit here and tell you how to, quote, change the world. That's going to come from another place. That's going to come from, well, first of all, it's going to be navigated dynamically by what I consider to be the collapse of civilization because of what's outlined in the film. You're going to have problems and pressures that are going to emerge, and you're going to have people seeking solutions to override them. And the hopeful thing that will happen is that this type of direction, this logic will pull through, as opposed to people falling back on some other outdated view. Critical mass, though, is really what I'm going for here. In Zeitgeist Addendum, it started there, where I made that point about the need for critical mass, and if this film doesn't carry over into the activist angle, but in the Zeitgeist movement, I talked to extensive lengths about the need to get people together across the world. And once you have enough people, you begin to put pressure on the establishment. You begin to have, more, you begin to have economic conferences with scientists that are behind it that can show the complete redesign of North America.
Do you fear that the Zeitgeist movement will not succeed, like the technocracy idea developed decades ago with similar intentions? I have no fear of the Zeitgeist movement not succeeding. There's really no point in even thinking about that. As far as technocracy, I see the relationship generally speaking, but technocracy was a political movement, had lots of different problems. Here's another related question. Do you think technocracy would make a good transition from the monetary system to the Venus Project, Zeitgeist movement culture? If not, please give a couple reasons why. I think this has been covered a few times. Technocracy has, in its initial construction, when Jacques was in it, had some very bizarre notions of race and sex. It was slightly elitist, and as it exists today, I really don't know. I see technocracy as an interesting staple of some important ideas historically, but there's no reason to have to pull in technocracy or use it as a transition point when you want to move on to something else. So I think the core interest is still sufficient. I think value-wise, the Venus Project is much more applicable than technocracy ever was.